Opinion, the only people who should use steroids are the people who are going to commit their whole lives for steroids. If you commit your whole life to doing blood work, to training consistently, to taking care of yourself, to taking supplements, to actually pinning regularly, to not fucking up like all normal people do, you can use steroids. And if you pin yourself today and you accept all the trade-offs that come with steroids, and let's say the the side effects that could come with them, like infertility, gyno, losing your hair, having acne, uh, all sorts of health problems. If you accept that you might get them and you are okay with that, I think you can use them. But if you don't think they are going to make your life better in any way, shape, or form, and you don't accept the trade-off that comes with using steroids, I don't think you should use steroids. I'm not saying you are going to get gyno, acne, your hair is going to fall out, uh, maybe health complications. Probably you are going to live until 70, 80. I don't know, but you have to be willing to accept the trade-off such that you are going to live a good life, and you are going to accept that if it happens, it was you that chose that. You should not throw the blame on others like so many people on social media did. This is the reason that I wanted to make this video. I saw so many people throwing the blame on somebody else that is not them. I used steroids because I wanted to get girls and I wanted to get attention, and my friend, when I started using steroids, I was aware of all these side effects, and I was like, fuck it. From my first pin, I accepted that if I'm going to die, it's not that I don't care, but I accepted it. I'm fine with it. Probably I am a little bit crazy or insane or just cringe, or I don't care. That doesn't matter. It's not that I'm going to die. It's not that I'm not going to take care of my health, but I accepted the trade-off, so I'm okay with what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to throw the blame on society, on my mother, my father, my friends, the environment that I grow in because I use steroids. It's because I want it. People who drink alcohol and have health problems, or people who smoke cigarettes and get cancer, which is pretty rare, but let's say they do, they're going to regret it. Oh, I use fucking cigarettes and I get cancer, and what if I didn't smoke? And you choose that for you. Yeah, like if you did it once, if you smoke a cigarette and you get cancer, that's unlucky, but I choose it for myself. I'm not saying you should die because you use steroids, but I'm saying if all things go to shit, you should accept it. And if you accepted your death already, or the worst outcome, now make the best outcome by researching, by understanding how can you keep yourself healthy, how can you actually train, how can you not get injured, how. And I haven't seen enough people that actually know their stuff. There are only a few people on the internet that I saw that actually know their stuff. Majority of them, they are going to regret they are using steroids. They are going to regret it because they just want to use it so they grow their business a little bit, but they say, yeah, bro, it's fine. Yeah, I understand. If you use steroids correctly, you have a bigger chance of not getting side effects and living a long life. But you should be okay with the worst outcome anyway. Let me tell you a story. It's not good that I say this, but when I was doing illegal stuff in another country because I wanted to get money, I understood that that country is pretty bad for living in there. So the laws actually favor me as a guy who commits illegal stuff. So I understood that if I was to get caught, it's a very small chance that I actually go to prison, so I can just make money there. But when I had bigger quantities on me, or I did things that I took more risk, I accepted. I asked the people there, okay, how many years do you think I will get for this if I get caught in like the worst situation? A few people said 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever. Before I fucking started driving and doing that thing, I understood the trade-off and I accepted in my mind. I wasn't scared. I wasn't. I was looking, so I know how can I protect myself, and I was taking the best measures that I could. But I never was scared because I accepted the trade-off. I was ready for it. And yeah, probably it was a bigger risk for the amount of money that I did a few times, but I was desperate so I can change my life. There is a whole reason why I did that, but I don't want to make the video telling about my fucking stories and my life. But if you actually consider taking steroids, in my opinion, you should know how to train correctly so that you get muscle mass as a natural, you progress as a natural, you don't get injured, and if you get injured, how can you recover as a natural? If you cannot lose weight, gain weight, get lean, stay lean, do all these things as a natural, steroids are not going to change that. Steroids are going to amplify your situation. I knew how can I bulk, I know how can I cut weight, I know how can I, after cutting weight, how can I go back to maintenance and maintain my leanness and not be hungry anymore. I knew that. I knew how to sleep. I knew how can I recover from injuries because I got injured and I recovered myself. My whole fucking body was injured because I was doing too much volume and I recovered from that. It took a lot. It was very painful, but I did it, and because of this experience, I learned. You have to learn something physical. It's not just or internet, but of course you should do your research, apply, fail, and then optimize and do it for yourself. So you have to know how to train. In like we can talk about training, but the thing is, if you can put muscle mass as a natural, if you can protect yourself from injuries and know how can you recover from injuries and lose fat, do that like as a natural, you can use steroids if all of the above are already done, right? Like if you are willing to commit your whole life for them. I don't say there is like just steroids in life, but you should make this trade-off. You should know how can you recover, like sleep, when you should take a little bit time off, when you should just get back from training like 1 or 2 days or a week, depending on your situation. If it's like something bad or whatever, you should know how to drink, like how much water you should drink. You should know your vitamins, like your minerals, what you're deficient in, your blood work, your sleep, your diet is very important. You have to know a lot of stuff. And now when you use steroids, you have to know the blood work. You have to know what can you take, what will I take when I increase a little bit of my dose, and let's say my estrogen runs higher, and so on. There are so many things, and you should learn about everything so that you are safe. And just after you know all this stuff and you can commit yourself, you can use them, in my opinion, if you actually don't want to make these decisions, so you are going to regret it, because many people regret it, and I'm not one of them. I'm not going to regret shit because I know what I'm getting myself into, and when I know and I accepted the trade-off, I just have to do or not do. That's it. I knew what I was going to do and how much money I was going to get and the worst possible outcome while doing illegal stuff. I accepted the fact. I was lucky. I didn't get caught. I got the money, but I accepted the trade-off in my mind if I were to go to prison. That's why I don't brag about this stuff. That's why it's not important to me. It's not that I forgot about it, right? Just when I make YouTube videos, I remember of it so I can share my experience with you guys and maybe you can learn something from it. I was already prepared to do that. I am prepared to die because I use steroids. Again, I think I used like a low dose, like between, I went from 200 to 350, then to 100, then to again to 350 with just testosterone with a little bit of aromacin when I was using more than 200. And this was on the course of a year, right? This all that I said right now. So 2 months, 3 months, whatever. And for a moment when I was shopping with my mom after I worked 12 hours a day every single day for 5 months, I felt something in my heart. It was just a random contraction. I don't have anything. I checked my heart. I'm perfectly healthy, right? But I was just fucking tired. I worked. It's not that I worked, but I didn't recover from the amount of work that I put in, mentally, everything, right? And I had just a small bump in my heart. And I remember I fucking smiled. There was nobody in the shop close to me. I just closed my eyes, smiled, and finally, I can finally rest. Like, is this it? I can finally rest. Is this it? Should I, like, finally, I don't fucking have to push this shit that I'm doing. You can call it discipline, you can call it whatever, but I can finally, like, this is it. I'm dying from steroids. Of course, this is a low dose, like a man. But it was just my 30 seconds to a minute fantasy that I will actually end up dead. But I didn't. And again, it was just because, you know, that I wanted to die, is that I went through a period of my life where I pushed myself to the limit, and I was just doing. And again, it's not that I want to die, but I was exhausted. Even sleep could not help. It took me, I think, 3 weeks to actually feel a little bit better. Imagine 3 weeks of sleeping 10 hours a day just to feel fucking recovered. But my point is, and I don't want to make this video any longer, you can do whatever because I cannot stop you, right? But if you want to use them anyway, you should take your precautions and you should do this stuff as safely as possible. Even if you want to use higher dosage or lower dosage, you should start low, and if depending on your goals you are going to go high anyway, but depends what your high is. But you should have good blood work no matter what. If you have bad blood work, it's not acceptable. You should not be at the dose if you have bad blood work. But yeah, this is my small rant about steroids, and I am going to strongly not suggest, but maintain my idea that I'm not going to regret anything that I do in my life. The choosing of doing illegal stuff, the choosing of me doing steroids, because in my mind they have a place, they have a reason, and I accepted the trade-off. Of course, I will not want to die right now. It is not rocket science. You don't have to be very smart to understand me, even if my English is not good. I don't want just to die suddenly, but I'm not feeling that. I'm not like, oh, okay, maybe I'm going like, fuck that shit. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try everything. If it happens, happens. Like, whatever, right? But I'm not going to say if it happens, happens while I have bad blood work, while I don't sleep, while I don't eat how I should eat, while neglecting the input. No. I am putting 110% in the input. But if I do everything good, like right now with the information that I have, as good as possible, and I still fail, like die or something bad happens to me, whatever, bro, like I try my best. Like imagine if I try to run as hard as possible, but I, like an animal, still caught me, like that's it. Like you can focus yourself on an animal 1,000 times. It does not matter. What should I focus is running from that animal. What should I focus is putting in the work. So I'm okay with dying. I don't want to die, but I'm okay with dying if I know I didn't die stupidly, like fucking, I don't know, just falling on stairs and that's it. So if I actually die for a cause or die doing something that I'm proud of doing, I'm going to die, bro. Like, if I can retire my parents, if I can help people, if I can achieve my dreams of becoming, of retiring and whatever, I want to live a long life, but okay, this video is getting too fucking long. If you want to use steroids, you should be committed for your whole life of taking care of your health, and you should consider the fact that you are going to be on TRT for life. There is a high chance that you're not going to be on TRT for life, and you're not going to be infertile, and that you're not going to have long like health problems because of them, depending on how your blood work was and your genetics and so on. But you should be ready to accept whatever comes with them, like if the worst come to the worst. That's it.